Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of the Most High God, I came here today with a word. I came with a fire shut up in my bones, and that word is simple, yet life-changing. We live in a world where everybody's trying to be strong. Everybody's trying to keep it together, hold it down, fake a smile, and act like everything's fine. But the truth is, behind the strength, behind the smile, behind the hustle, there's a breaking point. There's a limit, there's a place where even the strongest hands begin to shake, and it's there in that moment that you realize you were never meant to carry it all by yourself. You weren't created to be your own savior. You weren't designed to shoulder every burden, solve every problem, fix every broken piece of your life alone. That pressure you feel, that constant weight in your chest, that silent war behind your eyes. That's not God's plan for you. That's the result of trying to do divine work with human strength. God never asked you to be Superman. He never told you to be Wonder Woman. He said, asterisk, cast your cares on me because I care for you. Asterisk, he didn't say hold them. He didn't say manage them. He didn't say hide them under a polished image or bury them under a busy schedule. He said, asterisk, cast them. Asterisk, in other words, throw them, let them go, get them off your shoulders and into his hands. You've been trying to fix it all, the marriage, the finances, the mental health, the pain from your past, but the truth is, some things are above your pay grade, some things are beyond your control, and that doesn't make you weak. That makes you human. The power isn't in your independence. It's in your dependence. When you stop trying to be everything, you make room for God to be everything He already is. Do you know why you're tired? Why you can't sleep at night? Why your smile doesn't reach your eyes anymore? It's because you're carrying something you were never built to carry. You've got worries in your mind and weights on your heart that only God can lift. And the longer you try to hold it, the more it breaks you down. But there's freedom when you release it. There's healing when you admit, asterisk, God, I can't do this without you. Asterisk, that's not failure, that's faith. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Because when you give it to God, He gives you strength in exchange for your struggle. He gives you peace in exchange for your pressure. Stop pretending. Stop performing. Stop pushing past your limit like you don't need help. Let God step in. Let His strength show up in your surrender. Let His power be made perfect in your weakness. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world. But you were meant to place it in the hands of the one who can. Let go and let Him lift it. There comes a time in every life when you have to stop trying to be the driver and hand over the wheel. You've been gripping the steering wheel so tight, trying to direct every turn, every detour, every delay. But what if I told you that the very thing wearing you out is your need to control what was never yours to manage? You've been praying for peace, but peace doesn't come from having all the answers. Peace comes from trusting the one who does. Some of us have built our lives around control, controlling the outcome, the people, the timing, the process. We don't call it control, we call it planning. We call it being responsible. We call it wisdom, but deep down, we know it's fear disguised as order. It's fear that if we loosen our grip, everything will fall apart. It's fear that if we don't have our hands on it, it won't work out. But the truth is, real faith isn't about control. Real faith is about surrender. Surrender doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're giving it over. You're saying, God, I've done all I can do. Now I place it in your hands. That relationship you've been trying to fix, that opportunity you're chasing, that door you're begging to open. Sometimes God is waiting for you to release it before He redeems it. Because as long as you hold it, he won't touch it. He doesn't compete for control. You've been praying for God to move, but he's waiting for you to move, not move into action, but move into trust. Move into surrender. Move into a posture where your hands are off it, and your heart is open to whatever he wants to do. You keep saying you believe, but belief is more than words. It's letting go. It's unclenching your fist. It's saying, even if it doesn't go my way, I still trust your will. Some of the greatest blessings come not when we get what we want, but when we release what we thought we needed. That's when God shows you he's not just your provider, he's your protector. He knows what you can't see. He sees the trap ahead. He sees the timing that's not ready. And in his love, he sometimes blocks what you beg for, because he's not trying to please you, he's trying to position you. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to stress over what's next. You don't have to force your way into rooms God hasn't prepared for you yet. Lay it down. Lay down the pride, the pressure, the plan, and pick up peace. When you put it in his hands, you stop striving and start trusting. And that's when he begins to move in ways you couldn't even imagine. It's not about control. It's about surrender. And surrender is where the miracle begins. It's not about what you have. It's not about how much is in your bank account, how many connections you know, how much talent you carry, or how much strength you think you possess. No, it's about whose hands it's in. Because in your hands it may seem small. But when you place it in the hands of God, it becomes supernatural. We've been fooled into thinking we need more resources, more education, more followers, more tools, more validation. But God doesn't need you to have more. He just needs you to trust him with what you already have. He's not asking you for something you don't have. He's asking you to release what's in your hand. Because when you release it, he can multiply it. Think about that little boy with 2 fish and 5 loaves. In his hands it was a meal. In Jesus' hands it fed thousands. Same fish, same bread, but in different hands. When David picked up that smooth stone, it didn't look like much. It wasn't a sword, it wasn't a spear, it wasn't military-grade weaponry, but it was enough. Because in David's hands, guided by faith and anointed by God, it became the key to victory over Goliath. What are you holding right now and calling it not enough? What have you pushed to the side because it seemed too small, too broken, too unimpressive? You're looking at it through the lens of limitation, but God sees it through the lens of purpose. He doesn't need perfect, he needs surrendered. He's not waiting on you to become more, he's waiting on you to give what you've got. Stop despising your gift. Stop belittling your calling. Stop minimizing what God placed in you. That idea, that talent, that passion, that story in your hands, it might be ordinary. But when you place it in his hands, it becomes extraordinary. But here's the challenge. It won't multiply while it's in your grip. God won't move until you release. You've got to give it over. You've got to say, Lord, it may not look like much, but I place it in your hands. And when you do, something shifts. He takes your not enough and turns it into more than enough. He takes your little and makes it much. He takes your weakness and releases his strength. It's not about what's in your hand. It's about whether you're willing to put it in his hand. Are you willing to trust him with your dream, your plan, your next step? Because when you do, get ready, he's about to breathe on it. He's about to break it and bless I/T. And what was once small will begin to multiply in ways you never imagined. Don't underestimate what God can do through what you've already got as long as it's in the right hands. God is a multiplier. He's not just the God of enough, He's the God of asterisk more than enough. Asterisk, He doesn't just fill your cup, He makes it overflow. But here's what we've got to understand. The multiplication doesn't begin until there's a asterisk release. Asterisk, God doesn't multiply what you're clinging to. He multiplies what you're willing to asterisk give up. Asterisk, so many of us are holding on tight to what we think is too small, too broken, too insignificant to matter. You say, it's just a little oil, just a little time, just a little talent, just a little strength. But hear me, your just a little becomes more than enough when it leaves your hand and touches His. Remember the widow who had only a jar of oil and a little flour. She was preparing her last meal ready to die. But when she obeyed the word of the prophet and gave what she had, God stepped in and multiplied what remained. Her oil didn't run out. Her flour never failed. Why? Because she asterisk released asterisk it, and when she released it, she activated the miracle. The problem isn't what you have, the problem is your fear of losing it. You think you can't afford to give, to serve, to trust, because you're operating from a mindset of lack. But faith doesn't live in lack, faith lives in expectation. God can't multiply what you hoard. He multiplies what you place back in His hands. That boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish didn't bring a banquet. He didn't bring baskets full of food. He just brought what he had. And when he gave it, Jesus didn't criticize its size. He blessed it, He broke it, and then He asterisk multiplied asterisk it. That's the order. Asterisk asterisk, give, bless, break, multiply. Asterisk asterisk, if you're being broken right now, don't be discouraged, the breaking is part of the blessing. Sometimes God has to break you before He multiplies you. Break your pride, break your control, break your limitations, because the breaking prepares you for the blessing. And the blessing makes way for the asterisk overflow. Asterisk, God wants to use what you already have, but you've got to be willing to offer it. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until it looks big enough. Stop waiting until it seems worthy. Your gift isn't powerful because of what it is, it's powerful because of asterisk, whose hands it's in. Asterisk, you may think your life, your voice, your calling is too small, but God specializes in using the least likely. He takes your little and turns it into legacy. He takes your fragments and feeds multitudes. He takes your last and makes it last longer than you imagined. So bring your little, bring your leftovers. Bring your weakness, lay it down and watch what happens when heaven touches what you release. God is not limited by what you lack. He's only waiting on your willingness to let it go, because the moment you give it is the moment He multiplies it. You're waiting for everything to make sense before you move. You're waiting for the blueprint, the full picture, the confirmation from every angle. But real faith doesn't wait for clarity. Real faith moves when God says go. Real faith says, I don't see it all, but I know the one who does. I don't have the full map, but I trust the guide. We are addicted to certainty. We want guarantees. We want the end before we begin. But God doesn't operate like that. He's not in the business of showing you the whole staircase. He just gives you one step at a time. And if you're waiting to understand it all before you obey, you'll never move. You'll sit in the same place year after year, stuck in fear, while God's purpose waits on the other side of your trust. Look at Abraham. God said, asterisk, go to a land I will show you. Asterisk, He didn't give him a name. He didn't drop him a location. He said, asterisk, go. Asterisk, and Abraham asterisk went. Asterisk, that's faith. Faith is movement. Faith is obedience without full visibility. Faith says, even if I don't know where this road leads, I'll walk it if God is with me. The miracle is not in the knowing, the miracle is in the moving. You're asking God to show you the outcome, but He's asking you to trust Him with the process. Because the power of God is not revealed to the cautious, it's revealed to the courageous. Those who are willing to say, "Yes, Lord," before they have all the answers. Some of you are praying for God to open doors, but you haven't even turned the doorknob. You're waiting for Him to make it easy, and He's waiting for you to take the first step. You want to walk on water, but you won't step out of the boat. You want elevation, but you're still holding on to your comfort zone. Faith demands movement, not when it feels safe, but especially when it feels scary. You say, "What if I fail?" But God says, "What if you fly?" What if everything you've been praying for is on the other side of that act of obedience? What if the blessing isn't waiting on God, it's waiting on you to move? Don't let fear rob you of your future. Don't let overthinking keep you in a place God is calling you to leave. Trust Him. Trust His heart when you can't see His hand. Trust His purpose when you don't understand His plan. Trust that every step you take in faith is a step toward destiny. You don't need to know everything to move. You just need to know who told you to go. Because when God says move, the provision is already in motion. The help is already on the way, the breakthrough is already aligning, but nothing happens until you move. Faith moves even in the dark, even when it's hard, even when it doesn't make sense. Take the step. God will meet you there. There is something unshakable about knowing whose hands you're in. When life throws its worst at you, when the bills pile up, when the doors close, when the people you trusted walk away, there's a peace that rises up when you remember that your life, your future, your very breath is held in the hands of the one who never fails. The same hands that formed the heavens, that painted the skies, that parted the sea, those hands are holding you. You've been trying to hold it all together with your own strength, but you weren't created to carry what only divine hands can handle. Your hands are tired. Your heart is weary. You've done everything you know to do, and it still feels like things are slipping through your fingers. That's because some battles were never meant to be fought with your hands. They were meant to be surrendered into His. God's hands are not like yours. Your hands drop things. Your hands get weak. Your grip gets shaky when the pressure is too heavy, but His hands are steady. His grip is secure. When He holds you, He doesn't drop you. When He carries you, He doesn't get tired. When you put it in His hands, your marriage, your children, your business, your health, you can rest because He never sleeps, never slumbers, never fails. You remember Peter. He stepped out of the boat in faith, but the wind got loud, the waves got high, and fear crept in. He started sinking, but the Bible says immediately, Jesus reached out His hand and caught him. Not a second too late. Not after Peter went under. He caught him, because even when your faith fails, His hand never does. Some of you are afraid right now, afraid of falling, of losing, of letting go. But I came to tell you, you're not falling, you're being held. You are in the hands of the God who heals, the God who restores, the God who knows the end from the beginning. And when it's in His hands, it's not out of control, it's under divine control. He holds your past, He shapes your present, and He already stands in your future. That's why you don't have to panic. That's why you can stop trying to manipulate, to fix, to force, because what's in His hands is safe. It's protected. It's covered. When the world says it's over, when people say it's done, when your mind says it's impossible, God says, it's still in my hands, and if it's still in His hands, then the story isn't finished. So today, release it, let your heart rest, let your mind be still, put it all asterisk everything asterisk in His hands, because His hands are stronger than your fears, wiser than your plans, and more loving than you could ever imagine. You're not alone, you're not abandoned, you're not forgotten, you're just in good hands, and that's more than enough.